practice, we are going to do more of a full body flow by connecting with our breath. This really goes closely with a verse in Ephesians 4, and there's different versions to this one. So I'm using the MSG, the message version for this one. Is it not true that the one who climbed up also climbed down to the valley of earth? And the one who climbed down is the one who climbed back up to the highest heaven. He handed out gifts above and below, filled heaven with his gift, filled earth with his gifts. He handed out gifts and he sent it to all these different people. But what I really wanted to say is, in working within Christ's body, the church. So until we're all moving rhythmically and easily with each other, efficient and graceful in response to God's Son, fully mature adults, fully developed within and without, fully alive like Christ. And so with this, we're going to think of it in terms of how we are able to help each other, serve each other as part of the body of Christ. But we can use our full body, think of the same thing, because if we have one area of our body that's weaker than the other, we notice that usually it's the weak point that we tend to focus on, or it tends to prevent us from being able to reach our full potential. So with this, likewise in the body of our Christ, this is how we are able to support each other. So let's just stay connected to our breath. Get yourself in a nice, comfortable seated position. Again, if you noticing you're a little tight, always sitting on a block. Block is a wonderful thing. And we'll have your shoulders roll up toward your ear. Exhale it, roll it back. Have your elbows down by your side. If you like, you can close your eyes. Just inhale through your nose, just feeling the breath fill up, your lungs fill up. Diaphragm press down, belly rise. As you exhale, your navel slightly goes toward its back spine. We'll inhale. Keep breathing, exhale. Just connect to your breath, knowing the gift that God gave you here on earth, and knowing that He has waiting for us that promised gift in heaven. Now, if your eyes are closed, you can keep it closed. And what we're going to do is give a little bit of focus on our eyes. If your eyes are open, you can still do this. So as you're inhale, I'd like for you to pretend you're looking at the 12 o'clock positions, like straight up. And as you exhale, slowly roll your eyes over toward the right side, like, kind of like you're trying to peek over the right side and going down the clock. So you're going from 12 o'clock position down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's almost like you're looking down toward your nose. And then as you inhale, you go all the way back up again to your 12 o'clock position. And then as you exhale, go down again. So just do this your breath cycle. Do this 2 full times. And then go in the opposite direction. Slowly open your eyes. And then just roll your shoulders up again with your breath. And you may have noticed as you're rolling your eyes from one side, see, can you imagine if you had teenagers, they would normally like roll their eyes at you. So in this case, we were deliberately rolling our eyes, so much for being mature adults, right? So as we do that, and go in the opposite direction. But you may have noticed how one direction was easier than the other direction. And so we are really working the muscles in that area. All right. Now let's go slowly drop our right ear to our right shoulder. And we're going to bring our right arm over, place it over your head so that it's reaching right over towards your left ear. You're not really pulling it, just give a little bit of guidance. It might actually help you relax a little bit. See if you can relax the right shoulder so it's not squeezing upward toward the ear. Just keep the shoulder blades down and back. If you like, you can even straighten your left arm straight down. Breathe here. And as you're breathing, you may notice how you get a little bit of a deeper stretch. So the stretch is coming from within, not from your hand pulling your head over. Now we're going to slightly tuck our chin down toward your right armpit. You can release your hand if you like. As it stretches down, you might feel a nice stretch. Breathe again. Nice full deep breaths. Again, you can feel not only some a little bit of relaxation there, but perhaps even some stretching. And then we're going to draw our nose up toward the right side, all the way up towards the sky. Stay there, pointing your nose up toward heaven. Exhale, we're going to roll our chin down toward our chest, roll it over to the other side. And now our left ear is going to go toward our left shoulder. So same thing, left shoulder's down. When you're ready, and bring your left arm up over your head and check to make sure you're not like rotating your head, but you're actually just bringing your left ear toward your shoulder. Again, you have the option to extend the right arm, maybe point it down slightly. You can feel a little bit deeper stretch, but don't stretch it too fast, too far yet. And allow the breath to invite it to relax. This time we're going to tuck our chin down toward our left armpit. You know, release your hand if you like, your arm that was up there. Feel a little difference there. One side might be a little tighter than the other side. And then we're going to roll your chin all the way up toward the left upper corner, nose sticking up toward heaven. Make sure that left shoulder didn't come up with it. Relax it back and down. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bring the left chin back down, roll it over to the other side. Roll it back and forth, kind of like a U shape. Gaze back to right in front of you, straight ahead. This time you're going to turn your gaze over to the right shoulder. So you just bring your head tilted over to the right side. Make sure both shoulder blades are toward each other. Breathe here. Back towards center, and this time to the left side. Beautiful. Relax. Back to center. As we inhale, we're going to now inhale, bring our chest forward. Chin may come up slightly to arching your back. As you exhale, we're going to lean back. So it's almost like a cat-cow. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Come back and forth with your breath. If you're on a block, you can always get yourself off it. If you're on the ground, you may feel like, gosh, you know what, I want to move up onto a blanket or a block. Feel free to. You're going back and forth, getting your spinal to be nice, rhythmic with your breath. This time, we're going to stay still. And then we're going to go in breath. So as we kind of lean forward, back, and you're going to feel the entire spine in your lower back. So for those whose lower back's a little tight, start off smaller circles, perhaps, and then allow it to warm up. And notice yourself getting bigger and bigger. So your elbows may actually allow yourself to move forward and back. Even getting the joints to move with your breath. So again, are we moving rhythmically with your breath? Are we starting to get a little bit more easily, perhaps a little bit more graceful? And now we're going to go on the opposite side. So you might want to start slow, small little circles. If you're hearing any little crunching and stuff like that, that's okay. That's just a lot of the spinal fluids and gaps between that motion, allow that lubrication. All right. This time, I'll lift your right arm up. And we're going to just draw a little bit of circle with your breath. Draw a little circle. And then slowly start getting the circle bigger. Bigger, bigger. Again, with your breath, you're just going to feel it connecting. And if you notice like, gosh, you know, it's a little tight, then just keep the circle smaller until it feels nice and loose. A little bit of motion to your shoulders. And then make it back to small. And go in the reverse. Now make sure you're not gripping your jaw. There's a lot of tendency between the shoulders and the jaw. You're noticing the arm muscle. This is getting bigger. When you're ready, you bring that one back to your thigh, and guess what we're going to do with the other side? The same thing. Draw some circles, nice teeny circles, and then gradually start making the circle bigger and bigger. You're feeling how the entire motion works. Arms, shoulders. I hear a little bit of noise in my left shoulder. Okay, and then slowly get back into a smaller circle so that we can go in the other direction. It keeps getting a little bit bigger. Just go to your own range of motion. Everyone's going to be different. All right. When you're done there, arms at a T, cross, front. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Beautiful. And last time. Exhale. Inhale. All right, our arms probably are starting to feel a little bit tired. So again, relax, let it loosen it out. And then we're going to go onto our hands and knees. If you have blocks or any type of prop that you want, you may want to keep it at the top of your mat. Knees are directly underneath your shoulders, not underneath your shoulders. Knees directly underneath your hip width apart. Wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, shoulder width apart. Index fingers straight up toward the top of your mat, thumbs spread out toward each other, and the other three fingers spread out as well. So if you peek through between your legs, your feet should be directly behind your knees so you wouldn't be able to see it. And again, we're going to just do slight little cat-cows. Now that you're getting a little bit more accessibility into your lower back. So be kind as you inhale, drop your belly down, tailbone up, gaze up, exhale into your cat. Inhale, down, exhale, cat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So our spine's awake and we're back into our tabletop. We're going to lift just the right foot up So your both knees are still on the ground, your right foot up. And I'd like for you to just draw circles with your ankles. Or I should say, draw circles with your toes, and your ankle is going to be rotating. And then go in the opposite direction. And if you try to spread out your toes wide, and sometimes if you get foot cramps, it's because we don't really get to stretch in between all the different body parts. All right. Drop it down. If you like, you can actually tuck your toes and then keep it there. And then we're going to do the same thing to the left side. So left foot up off the ground, but the knees still on there. You're going to draw circles. So working those ankles. And I definitely notice the difference between my right and left foot. I wouldn't even call this a circle. I feel like I'm making a square with my foot. Breathe. And then go in the opposite direction. Much easier this way for me. All right. All right, we're going to drop to our elbows real quickly. So elbows go down to where your hands are at. Your forearms going to be parallel to each other. We're going to flex those feet. So we're going to pull your left foot back. We're going to go into a forearm plank. Right foot back. So you're flexing those feet. And I'd like for you to pretend you're pulling your mat back with your toes. And then your forearms trying to pull away from each other toward the side of your mat. So you're protecting your shoulders. Your shoulders are now going to go down a little bit more flush. Your gaze is actually down at the mat. Your forearms, your crown of your head's up toward the top of your mat. Keep breathing. Drop your knees. Let's go back into our child's pose. So walk your hands gradually toward your body. Untuck your toes, and then bring your hips down toward your heels. If you like, you can have your elbows go to the width of your mat, and then bring your forehead down to the floor or to a block or whatever prop, or use your hands. You can bring your hands together as a pillow, and then feel your lower back rise rhythmically with your breath. Beautiful. Then we're coming back into tabletop. So we're going to do this with the flow. Strength is still important. And so as you extend the right foot right behind you with the right toe still tucked, left hand's going to still touch the floor, the mat in front of you, but you're going to extend the elbows so that the pinky is touching the mat, but then the palm is facing toward the center line. So now point your toe, your right foot toes down. So really, they're not really supporting you. So your left knee and your right hand's really supporting you. Gaze is toward the floor. And then if you want, you can slightly lift both extended leg and arm up just an inch and exhale back down, inch up. So with your breath, slow. And maybe just higher with your breath and down. More. And you can always choose to opt out of either one until it gets to the point where it's in the same line as your spine. Beautiful. Let's bring your knee in, and then your left hand directly behind, underneath your shoulder, and then extend your left foot back. So pointing the left toe onto the floor, still touching the floor. Your right hand is going to be extended, your right arm, I should say, and then the pinky is toward the mat, palms toward the center line. Again, your crown of head is going to be straight. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to just lift both up just by an inch and then down and back. So we're slowly engaging each of the muscles, but doing it with your flow. So match with your own breath. And perhaps each time you're just lifting up a little bit higher and higher. Notice how the core, maybe your navel comes towards your back spine, help engage that. All right, let's bring your hand back in and your knee back in and draw circles with your hips. And your wrists can move. And you may be making some snap, crackle, and pops, and that's okay. Go in the opposite direction. All right. This time, you're going to bring your right foot directly back behind you. And as you exhale, bring the knee toward your nose as you tuck your nose down. Inhale, straight back out. Exhale, bring it back in. This time, as you bring it back out, we're going to bring it into the 90 degrees so the sole of your feet's up toward heaven. Exhale all the way in. So do it really mindfully. You notice how you're really engaging the core in your gluteus maximus. One last time. And this time, when you bring it in, like for you to bring your right foot all the way up to your right hand. All right, so we're going to be into the slight little lunge. You can use blocks if you want. So as you have your right knee over that right ankle, your left knee could be a little bit further back. You can always put some padding or blanket or towel underneath there. Stretch. Inhale here. As you exhale, let's straighten that right leg. You're going to get a little bit of stretch. Keep the toe pointed, and then if you like, you can even extend it, toes upward. You can feel a different stretch along the hamstring. Now we're going to go to our own breath. So let's match it into a flow. So inhale forward, exhale straighten. Inhale forward. And what you're going to notice is even that lower back is getting nice and stretched. This is where it's nice to have perhaps a padding underneath your left knee. This is great for the whole right side. And this is one of the reasons why I think props actually helps a little bit so that you're not hunched over and puts a little bit more stress, I should say, toward your jaw or shoulder. So even if you want to choose your blocks or paper towels or toilet paper, you can stack it on top. You can even bring it to your higher height. Now, next time you come to that 90-degree angle with your right foot, tuck your left foot, lift your left knee up, feel a little bit of strengthening there. Walk your hands a little bit forward, and then we're going to take a step up with your left foot. Keep it at hip width apart. And then I would like for you to slightly forward fold. And you're going to notice how your left leg and your right leg feels extremely different from each other. That's because we were able to, your right leg might feel a lot longer or looser. Inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back. Crown of your head up toward the top. Exhale, forward fold. This time, if you want, you can place your hand back onto the mat or blocks and take a step back your right foot and drop your right knee down. So we're going to do the opposite side. So again, if you like, you can always place a blanket or a towel underneath your right knee. Should be a little bit more than 90 degrees. So your left foot is going to be, left leg is going to have that 90 degrees and such, but your right might be a little bit wider, get a little bit of the hip flexor stretch. Right. So first you're engaging here, and then as you exhale, go straighten your left knee and match to your own breath. think of how you're nicely and easily moving rhythmically with your own breath. And isn't that wonderful? God breathed life into us, and if we truly are in sync with him, how easy it is for us to move through life, being in that fully alive. But we are not alone. We, together with other believers, we're the body of Christ. You're the church. And so where one might have an actual weakness and the other person is strong, this is how we together, this whole unity, are able to be fully alive. And check what your right foot is doing. So some people might like to have their right foot toes straight or tucked in. Try to do something a little bit different. I remember when I first started practicing yoga, I used to get the worst foot cramps. And it's because I never really stretched those different areas within our feet and our toes. And so even if you do practice yoga, you might not be using an area that you normally would. Ooh, I feel nice and loose now, my left side. All right. Now this time, when you're back into that nice little low lunge, tuck that right foot, lift that right knee up off the ground, feeling a nice stretch there, but also strengthening. Imagine if you're placing your right toe into the ground and pushing it behind you. Feel that? And then engage your glutes a little bit there. Engage it, and you can feel a little bit of tightening there. And then as you exhale, let's bring your right foot forward fold. If you like, you can grab the opposite elbow. And hopefully your two legs feel like they match each other. Keep breathing. And if you still feel a little tight, you can always bend your knees. It helps stretch that lower back. Perhaps the psoas has been overworked this weekend. Piriformis. Drop our hands down. Inhale your hands to your shins, flat back. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, hands all the way up toward the sky as we get into our Tadasana soon. Inhale. Exhale, slight back bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Slight little sun salutation. Inhale, hands to shin, flat back. Exhale, back down. Take a right foot back. Right hand on the ground, and we're going to do our spinal twist. So with your breath cycle, inhale your left arm up. Exhale it back down. Inhale back up. If you like, you can bring your gaze to follow your hand, but you don't have to. Inhale it back up. Exhale it back down. And this time we're going to draw circles with. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale it round behind you and up. Exhale round behind you and inhale it up. And last time, down. Exhale behind you and inhale up. Take a step back with your left foot, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. You can drop your knees, chest and chin, or you can chaturanga down with your breath. Inhale to baby cobra. Exhale yourself back lower down. Inhale back up slightly. Exhale it back down. Third one. Inhale back up. Exhale it back down. Tuck your toes. Press yourself back up into a downward facing dog. This time, we're going to bring our right foot toward our right hand. You like, you can drop your left knee down there, but we're doing a spinal twist on the other side. So left hand's planted. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale it back down. Inhale back up. Exhale back down. Third one, inhale back up. Exhale back down. And we're going to do the flow. So inhale it back behind you. Exhale. Yeah. Inhale. Exhale. Your shoulders already got work before. Exhale, but you're feeling a little bit of stretch in your rib cage, your lower stretch. So great. Lift your left knee, step up, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands all the way up toward the sky. Again, exhale, slight back bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. All right. This time we're going to slightly open heel toe your feet out. And kind of slightly swing a little bit right to left, moving the hips side to side. Okay, I'm going to move sideways so that, I'm going to face toward the camera so you can see. This time, extend your left leg straight to the side. All right. Have your left foot nice and grounded, okay? So you just be kind so you don't have to like lock your knees. And then you can have your hands down in front, and then we're going to slowly lift your leg up, your arms up, straighten your right leg. If you want, you can walk out your right foot so you're in a wide-legged straddle. And then slowly bring your left heel closer toward you and bend that left knee as you extend that right leg. So you're getting a little bit of stretch on both sides. We're going to walk back and forth to each side. So just a little bit of flow, a little bit of motion. Match your own breath. If it doesn't feel good for you to be leaning over, if you feel like you're scrunching, you can always use a block. You can always grab a chair. You're really working those inner thighs. Also ankle flexibility. If you want, you can slowly get the leg a little bit closer and then come using the strength. Have your knees kind of close toward where you're above your ankles, so they're kind of the corner. Swing side to side, so we're going to do a little bit more of a flow. So this is where you might want to be close to some type of prop to give you some support. So I'm going to use the wall. What you might want to do is use a chair or maybe a couch that's nearby. So what we're going to ultimately do is inhale, bring your right foot forward. Exhale, bring it back. But when we bring it back, make sure you're not arching your back. Try and keep it at that 90-degree. It's still going to be nice and straight. And you're going to feel a little bit of tightness there. Okay. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now, if you want more, you can bring your right leg behind you. But again, don't have your pelvis rotating. And you're going to feel the core that you're working on. Inhale, exhale. Now watch your standing leg as you're not hyperextending it. For those that want more, like really core strength, you may even decide to go forward. So you're hinging at the hips. And you're going to feel that. If you really want to feel it, you can even like release your hands. Make sure you don't fall. And you're noticing how you're really using a bunch of the core muscle. Inhale, exhale. All right. Release. walk it out, and you switch to the other side. So in this case, same thing. Inhale your left knee up. As you exhale, just bring it back. So again, your knee's not pointing straight down. Everything's at the 90-degree angle at the kneecap. Inhale. Just working this area first. And then if you really want a little bit more of the gluteus work, start hinging at the hip. It's even working your standing leg. So if you are hinging at the hip, keeping your back nice and straight, there's a tendency to want to drop your head. I'm going to have to end up watching myself to see if I do that. Try to see if you can get your shoulder blade still behind. What I'm noticing is every time I hinge forward, I'm noticing that my pinky toe is flaring out. Again, awareness. So this is becoming a little bit more easier for me from matching the rhythm, but I don't know if I necessarily am being graceful. I don't feel like it. And stop. Excellent. Now shake that out. Might notice how one side is very different than the other side. Okay, let's get down and make sure you have your strap next to you. So as you're seated here, have both feet in front, knees bent. We're going to bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. So we're in that cross. It's almost like a pigeon, seated pigeon. So this would be a nice little stretch for folks. And so your leg's a little bit further behind you. And so what's going to happen here is you can bring it close for bending it with your flow, a little bit of stretch along that hamstring. Or another option is just using your hands nice and planted. So fingers facing toward your hips. You can bring yourself slightly closer in front, but just make sure you don't go too close then, especially if it's not stretched out. So you have the option. If you want a little bit more core workout, you may choose to bring your left leg up and bring it closer to you, getting that stretch along your right hamstring and glutes, but you're still working your core. Or if you want, you can use your right hand, your both hands down, and then bring yourself closer further that way. So you have the option, yogi's choice. Just trying to work some of the muscle areas, especially for those that might have been running long distance yesterday. Then you may want to even kind of roll it side to side. And then when you're ready, you can release. And if you were leaning on your hands a lot, just kind of relax it, rotate your wrist both ways. And then we're going to get ready for the other side. So this time, left ankle is on top of the right knee. I want to flex the left foot, and that helps protect the knee a little bit. And again, yogi's choice. So you can choose to either bring the right leg up, bring in. Now I can feel a bit more stretch along that left side. But boy, that means I have to work my core. Or you can bring your hips closer and further. Although I don't feel like that's as much for me. This one's getting more of a stretch. If you want this more of a static one, then you can just hold it there. Or if you prefer, you can go all the way down to your back. But in 1 Corinthians, they talk about, but our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part just where he wants it. How strange a body would be if it had only one part. So God has put the body together such that extra honor and care are given to those parts that may lack. This makes for harmony among the members so that all the members care for each other. If one part suffers, all the parts suffer with it. If one part is honored, all the parts are glad. All of you are together, so go a little side to side. All of you are together for Christ's body. And each of you are a special part of it. All right. Let's slowly bring both soles of feet touching each other. And then again, you can just do a little bit of stretch. We really worked it when we did our side motion. Getting close to, and I forgot to set my timer. All right. Got your strap. We're going to go onto the ground. Go onto your lower back. Oops. Okay, I wanted to put my hair in a ponytail. I didn't realize when I go back, but it doesn't quite work. All right. Right leg straight. So you have the option. You can use your strap right now, or you can choose to not use it. Not using it requires a little bit more core work and a little bit more strength, so it's up to you. But if you want to, you can extend the left leg as well. And you're going to notice how your right leg immediately goes down. So if you have a strap, bend the right knee so that you can easily reach the strap. Hold your strap or your rope or bathrobe belt, so that it's right held on top. This time your left leg is straight, your right knee is straight as well. Inhale your left leg up, lower your right leg. So we're going to go and keep it hovered right above. So your right leg's now just above the floor, and then you're going to rotate. So you're going to let it flow with your breath. So you notice how we're crossing. So the strap is there just to help give you some guidance if you get tired. If you get really tired, your lower back bothers you a lot, what you could do is maybe place your hands underneath your hips. Okay, so that kind of lifts it up. And you may notice how that kind of relieves the lower back strain. If you still feel strain, then just skip out of that one. You can always keep one leg on the floor, the foot on the floor, have the knee bent, and then just work the one side. You'll still get nice workout there. All right, so yogi's choice. So you can always just do one side at a time if you want, or do both. Kind of like you're swimming. I'm going to switch back to my strap. All right, so let's go stretching now. All right, so if your strap is in your right foot, around your right foot, have it so that your arms directly on the floor, your shoulder blades, your angel wings are tucked down. Once your right leg is straight, check the knee. You don't want to hyperextend it, but you just want to have straight or very, very slight micro bend. It doesn't necessarily have to be straight up to the ceiling, but you could always have it at an angle. What happens then is straighten your left leg. You might notice how it ends up being pulled away. That's fine. Just hold it here. Try to relax your shoulders down, away from your ear. Keep it so that your leg's straight. Keep breathing into this area. And then perhaps You can lift it up toward the heaven a little bit more with a couple breaths. And perhaps a little bit more. Can you imagine if you're practicing this yoga outside and your toes, you can actually see where different stars or constellations based on where your toe might be pointing at. Each time you move it, you know that maybe perhaps your muscles starting to stretch a little bit. At this time, place both strap into your right hand. Your left hand is going to rest right on top of your left hip. And then you're going to open up your right leg. So just open up so that your left hip does not come up off the ground. So it may still hover completely, that's fine. Be kind, notice as it slowly opens up, maybe your sacrum. Move some, keep breathing. Slowly bring it up, using the strap to help it up. All right, this time, your leg's still straight. You're gonna switch your straps over to your left hand. This time, your right hand is holding your right hip down. And then you're gonna allow it to cross over the center line. But this is the important thing. The right hip needs to stay contact. So you're getting a really big IT band stretch. A lot of times you'll see people having their leg touch the floor and you're just getting that small twist. I think we talked about this one of the other classes. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Release closer to you. Bring your right knee at an angle. Interlace both fingers there, and we're just going to draw circles again. Go nice. Then draw in the opposite direction. All right, this time, right foot down, bring your left leg up, use your strap. Straighten it, angel wings back, tuck down onto earth. Have your arms resting gently on top onto the floor if possible. Make sure those shoulders are away from your ear, and then maybe straighten your right leg. Breathe here, just feel the hamstring. And then if you notice it feels loose, then you can always invite your left foot higher, closer toward your body. If you notice that you seem to be gripping onto your strap or your belt, you could always like roll your hands around it so that you're not actually gripping instead. That's an option. Connect with your breath. Each time, maybe perhaps your leg may feel easy enough to come close to your head, toward your head. And then when you're ready, you can bring both straps over toward your left hand, your right hand on top of the right hip. Then you open up your left leg toward the left side. only as much as the right hip stays on the ground, or until your left leg hits the wall. Ooh, didn't think about that. Allow the stretch. You can probably feel a deeper inner thigh stretch there. So allow it to take time. Allow it to marinate. And when you're ready, you can use the strap to lift your leg all the way up. This time, pass the straps over to your right hand. Keep your left hand on top of the left thigh, and then allow it to cross over the center line. Bring it back to center. Bend the left knee. We're going to get at that tabletop of the left knee. Interlace your fingers underneath the thigh and just draw some circles. You're noticing when you're drawing some circles, but there's actually also releasing a little bit of motion into your hips. They should go in the opposite direction. And you're requiring to use some of your core, which of course is connected with your pelvis. So nice motion. Hug both knees to your chest. Hold side to side. And then if you like, you can always use the block and place it underneath your, where your shoulder blade is. Go into a fish pose. You don't have to. You can always roll up a towel or a blanket and then have it underneath the same shoulder area. So let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Since as members of one body, you are called to peace. You can either have your legs down like in Shavasana, or if you prefer, you can have your soles of your feet toward each other in Baddha Konasana, where the soles of feet are touching each other. You make that diamond shape, yogi's choice. Allow your hands to be down by your side, palms facing upward to receive what God has gifted for those up in heaven, for those gifts down on earth. He's given each of us different gifts. And that's why together we are the body of Christ, the church. You can rest here, just breathe. Allow your breath to even deepen. You're invited to, with your next inhale, imagine yourself breathing up through your left big toe. As you inhale, it continues running up the left foot, the left leg, left side of the body, up to the top of your head. And with your exhale, it just goes down the right side of the head, down your right arm, right side, down your right leg, out through your right foot. And then as you inhale, go in the opposite direction. And you continue doing this. And as we get ready into our final resting pose, Shavasana, you're either welcome to stay in this position or go into legs up the wall, physically go to legs up the wall, or get into your traditional Shavasana. If you're going to remove the block, make sure you maybe bend your knees, slightly move over to the side. You're going to have your eyes gently closed. And the traditional Shavasana is where the right heel is at the right corner of your mat, left heel is at the left corner of your mat. Tuck those angel wings or shoulder blades back underneath you. And the great way to do that is maybe lift your chest up off the ground, tuck them back under, and then lower it to make contact to earth. Hands are again down by your side, maybe at like 30-degree angles, palms facing upward for the external rotation. You can perhaps bend your knees slightly, lift your hips slightly up off the ground, and then lower it. And then lift your right heel up off the ground, point it further away from you, and then allow it to drop. Point the left heel up off the ground, away from you, and then lower it and allow the toes fall outward away from each other, and then completely relax, just resting in the arms of Christ. As you lay here, you may want to give gratitude to every single body part that God had created. You were wonderfully created. He had such great plans for you. Gifts that he's given just for you, so that when you are with your other sisters and brothers, blood sisters, that together, fully alive, serving its purpose. Bring some awareness back into your body. You may want to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your ankles and your wrists. Opposite side, opposite direction. Walk your feet toward each other, toward the center of your mats at the top. Inhale your arms over your head. Bring the full breath, full length of who you are. As you exhale, bend your knees. Roll over to your right side. Your head resting gently on top of your right arm. Keep your eyes closed. You may want to use your upper arm to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Hands resting gently on top of your thighs, palms up toward heaven. Sealing your practice, touching your thumb and index finger. That perfect circle, that perfect unity, the perfect eternal circle. His love completes us. As you inhale through your nose, exhale, open mouth, breath. Deep inhale, full exhale. Last inhale here. Deep cleansing exhale. Bring your palms, touching your thumb right above your heart, tucking your chin down toward your heart. Dear Father God, thank you for bringing us in this moment to know that the gift that you've given us is part of your plan for us to be able, as part of the entire body, your Christ body, to serve, be parts of the member, so that we can be fully alive. Thank you. In your Son Jesus' name, pray.